this is going to be an in-service video for our new RIT Pack 3s. These RIT Packs are to be used as an emergency source of air to get a down fireman that's out of a hazardous environment. Currently we have 5 of these RIT Packs. One is going to be placed on Rescue 101, one on Truck 101, Truck 104, Truck 108, leaving us with one additional one that we can use for training purposes until another truck is added to our fleet. So let's look at the outside of the bag. First thing you'll notice is we have this shoulder strap here that's connected with some carabiners and some rings. You have rings all along the outside of this bag here as well as on the other side to use as different connection points for this carabiner. So if you're going to carry it over your shoulder, you can connect here. If you wanted to drag this behind you, you can connect over here on this side. Or if you wanted to carry it out in front of you, you can just pick it up with these 2 big grippy handles on either side. The next thing you'll notice on the front here, this is going to be the cylinder remote gauge console. Once you turn on your bottle, this will show you how much air is in the bottle. There'll also be an LED display over here with some different colored lights that we'll talk about later on to show you how much air is left in the cylinder. If you look, there's 2 different sides to this bag. There's some handles. You have a T-bar handle on one side and a ball on the other side. This is going to be to where if you're in a blacked out situation, it's going to help you basically determine what side has what in it. So on the T handle, you're going to have all your high pressure stuff, and on the ball, you're going to have all your low pressure stuff. So you can, a couple of different things you can do to kind of help you remember. You could do T high, ball low, ball to the face. Those are just a couple of different things to kind of help you remember what's in each side. So let's go ahead and talk about the high pressure side. So located on this is going to be your connection to the cylinder, as well as that RIT UAC, so the universal air connection. NFPA 1981 stated that any pack after 2002 needed to be fitted with a universal air connection, and that air connection is going to be on the left-hand side. Okay. On the low pressure side, you're going to have a low pressure hose with a dual manifold that has a couple of different quick connects, a male and a female, depending on what type of regulator that you're going to be hooking up to. All right, so inside of the bag, you have your cylinder. All right, that's going to be strapped down with these straps right here. In order to connect the cylinder, you have this cylinder coupling, okay? You have your pressure reducer assembly right here, and then you have your UAC cord. Right? And this is going to be roughly 4 feet long. All right. On the other side over here, you're going to have your AV3000 Facepiece with your regulator inside. Okay. That's going to have your air saver and your purge valve right here. So now we're going to talk a little about the inspection of these RIT Pack 3s. Every Monday, just like we check out our air packs, you need to be checking out this RIT Pack as well. So we'll start with the outside of the bag first. We're going to be checking it for any tears, any rips or anything. Make sure that your ball and your T are on these. Sometimes these can come off, so if they are gone, we need to make sure that we replace them. You want to check your straps. Make sure everything is good here. Make sure it unbuckles. All right. Next, we'll go ahead and open up the bag. We're going to start off with our bottle here. You always want to make sure that you have a full bottle. If you don't have a full bottle, go ahead and replace that. If you do need to replace it, you just undo these straps here, take your bottle out, undo your coupling, get you a fresh bottle, put your coupling back on, and go ahead and strap it back down. You're also wanting to check then your hydrostatic gate. Make sure that that's in compliance. Check it for any gouges, any scores, any dents. If it's been exposed to any heat, you want to go ahead and check all that stuff. So just like you would with your air packs, you're going to do the same thing with this bottle. We'll go ahead and strap this back down. We'll go ahead and turn on our bottle. Okay. Once you turn on your bottle, let's go ahead and back check our console, make sure our lights are good, make sure that we don't need to change out the batteries or anything. So if you turn on the bottle here and you notice that there's a red light flashing over on this console, it means that the batteries need to be replaced. So all you're going to need is 2 brand new batteries and a large flathead screwdriver. All right. So the only thing you want to make sure you do, if you notice up here, we have the negative side and the positive. So you just want to check your batteries and make sure that you're putting it in the correct way. So the negative is going to be on this side, and then positive It's going to be here, and then we're just going to go ahead and close it up. We'll go ahead and check then on the high pressure side here first. You're wanting to check this cord, make sure it's got no rips or anything in it. If you open this right here, you're checking for any dust or debris. You're wanting to make sure that this pin is straight. If it's not straight, it will not connect to the UAC. And just remember on the air packs that UAC is going to be on the left side. All right, so you can actually practice hooking up to it if you want, make sure that that connection goes. If it does not connect for some reason, if this is bent, it will need to be sent back to Scott to get looked at. All right, looking on the low pressure side, all right, we'll start with our dual manifold, okay? Take the covers off. You're wanting to check, make sure you can slide this. You're making sure that there's no bent, making sure that it's cleaned out in the inside. This is actually a special Facepiece. So let's go ahead and do the Facepiece first. This is an AV3000, but if you notice, it doesn't have a nose cup in the inside. This is going to be so you can see the person's face that's on the inside. It also, the regulator here, it doesn't have a vibe alert to it. So the only thing, once you get to really to a 1/4% of your bottle, you're going to hear that bell chime. So there will not be a vibe on this mask right here. So we'll go ahead and connect this. You can go ahead and put this on if you want to. Make sure, just go ahead and check your straps. Make sure everything is fully extended out to make for ease of use to put on. You're checking the Facepiece then for any glazing or anything, any cuts, making sure that it's clean. If it's dirty, go ahead and wipe it down. All right. At this point then, let's go ahead and turn off our bottle. Once the bottle's turned down, we're going to go ahead and bleed off the system. As we're bleeding off the system, we're going to be using this purge valve here. All right, and what I'm basically watching for while it's going down, we're making sure that our lights, right now we're at 3/4. Once it's going to go to the yellow, that means we're going to be at 1/2. It'll start flashing. And then once you get to 1/4, it's going to go red, and you can hear the bell going. So once you've checked that, we can go ahead and start breaking everything back down, getting the bag back to the way it was. So we'll go ahead and disconnect our regulator. We're going to disconnect it from our dual manifold. You're going to take your mask. You have your regulator. You're going to wrap it up nice and neat. Place it inside the mask here. All right, and it should be stored like this every time. Scott recommends that you make sure you disconnect it from this dual manifold anytime. All right, so you always want to make sure that the regulator is disconnected, placed nice and neat into your mask. Go ahead and place this back in. You have your dual manifold and your hose here. Push it into the storage. Replace your covers back on the top here to keep the dirt and dust out. Place it in the Velcro. Now we can go ahead and close this side. We'll close down our middle section. And now your bag has been fully inspected on a Monday. All right, so now we're going to talk about the operation. Let's say you arrive on scene and you've been assigned RIT. So the first thing you want to do is you want to go ahead and get this bag out. Go ahead and get any tools that you might need. Maybe bring you an extra air cylinder, a bottle, just in case. So any tools that you would think that you would maybe need in a RIT situation, go ahead and gather that up. And set yourself up an area that's not in the way of everyone that's going inside, but to where you can easily be seen and deployed if you needed to. So what I would do is go ahead and open up your bag and check it off. Make sure it's set up the way that you want it. Make sure that your bottle is connected to the cylinder here. Your coupling is connected to the cylinder. Go ahead and check your mask over here. Remember we said that none of this was supposed to stay connected. So you can go ahead and connect it at this point then to this dual manifold. All right. Go ahead and make sure your straps are fully extended on the mask here. If you like to have the webbing folded over so you can easily flip it over someone's head, you can do that as well. All right, so just go ahead and get this bag situated the way you want, get it closed up, The bottle's turned on. Double check everything before you close it all up. So we'll go ahead and close this down now. All right. So while y'all are sitting there as a crew, to kind of help even it out and to where you kind of, there's an acronym where you use, if y'all did that training over at the country club, it was tier. All right, so one person is basically going to be responsible for the thermal. E is going to be for equipment. One person is going to be responsible for carrying the equipment. A is going to be air. So Scott always recommends that one person is in charge of basically doing all the air, monitoring how much air is left in the cylinder. He'll be doing any of the connections, whether it be using the RIT UAC or using replacing the cylinder or replacing the regulator or replacing the facepiece. All right, so that person is going to be responsible for anything that has to do with the air. And then R is going to be for radio. That person will be responsible for basically doing all radio traffic. Once you do find that down fireman, right, so obviously get on the radio, call out to that person, call out to command, let them know you found it. That air person then is basically going to be working to get it situated, whether it be using the regulator, replacing the facepiece, using the RIT UAC. Once it's connected, it's going to be important then to use these straps to your advantage. If you've replaced the facepiece or you've replaced the regulator, if you just have this bag dragging behind them, there's a good chance that that facepiece is going to come off. So, use these straps to your advantage. You might want to wrap it around that person. If you have some webbing in you, you basically just want to find some way to strap this bag down to that down fireman so it avoids pulling the facepiece off of that down fireman. All right, so your company just got on scene and you've been assigned RIT. So you're going to grab this RIT Pack 3 here. And remember we talked about earlier, go ahead and turn on your bottle here and get everything situated the way you want it before you go inside. We have a 60-minute bottle inside here that you're able to use either the high pressure side or the low pressure side. So we're going to go ahead and talk about the high pressure side first. All right. So you get inside, you find the down fireman here. You want to check his facepiece, check his regulator, make sure everything's good with this. And now we want to roll him over. We want to check his air here, and you realize that he's running low on air. All right. So we're going to use the RIT UAC to hook up to his bottle. And what this is going to do, it's going to equalize the two bottles out. So we're going to give Creasy the air here and put it in this bottle here. So in order to connect, just slide back on this, press in. All right. So now we can go ahead and work on getting them out of the structure. Once we do have them out of the structure, in order to disconnect, slide back, pull out, and now we need to just worry about refilling this bottle. If you needed to go back in scene to grab another down fireman, you can utilize a 30-minute, 45-minute bottle that's on scene, but just remember to put this back in service, you need to make sure that you refill this hour-long bottle. All right, so now we're going to talk about the low pressure side. Remember I said when you're setting up your bag, go ahead and hook up the regulator to the dual pressure manifold. So everything's going to be connected, ready to go. You find your down fireman inside and you suspect that he has a bad regulator. And so what we want to do is just replace it with the regulator that's provided in the RIT Pack 3. All right, so you want to come up to him, go ahead and disconnect his. And now we're just going to replace it with the regulator from the Scott pack. Go ahead and press the diaphragm in the middle to initiate the air going to the down fireman. Okay, in this situation, you find a down fireman and you realize he has a compromised facepiece. So what we're going to want to do here is just go ahead and replace the facepiece with the regulator provided in the RIT Pack 3s. Remember we talked about on this mask right here that's provided in the RIT Pack 3, it doesn't have a nose cup in it, so you're going to actually be able to see this down fireman's face while you're getting him out of the structure. So first things first, we're going to remove the compromised facepiece from the down fireman. Take your new facepiece, place it on the fireman. Pull your straps over. Go ahead and cinch everything down. All right, now we're going to go ahead and place the regulator on him. Press the diaphragm. And now he's going to be breathing air. All right, so I know we've gone over a lot of information today. So we just want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you have any further questions about anything, feel free to contact myself or anyone in the training division. The user manual for this RIT pack will actually be placed under the share drive under the training folder. There should be a section under there called RIT. So you can always go to that as a information guide. For those of you that ride on ladder trucks, when you do receive these RIT packs, there will be a user manual that comes with it, so each individual person can look over that. So once again, thank you for your time. If you got any questions, hit me up. Thanks.